PSEO stands for Post-Secondary Enrollment Option.
We chose to do our case study on the educational institution of PSEO. PSEO is an option for high school students to go to college either part or full-time, either their junior or senior year, in order to obtain college credits while fulfilling high school requirements.
By relating information that we have learned throughout the semester from our 3 texts, we are able to analyze this educational institution as to why it is bad and why it is good.
Sahlberg, Shank, and Williams provided us with the information necessary to conduct this research.
One of the themes that we felt was covered by all 3 authors relating to the negative side of PSEO describes missing out on precious experiences that can only be had in high school. First of all, according to Shank, people don't question or understand how subject-centered teaching has ruined schools because they can't. I think that this statement applies to PSEO because as teenagers, they do not always have the insight to say no. At the time, such an idea can sound so appealing, but they overlook the cons for the pros. When kids do this, they miss out on valuable high school experiences. As Jules described in her story about the robin outside her window, time is precious, so we must not let it slip by. Sahlberg also contributes to this theme in this statement. Because personalized learning plans in upper secondary school are not tied to age groups or classes, some students will take more time to complete their studies than others. I do not necessarily think that this is a bad thing, but rather good because it allows students to take more time to assess what they might like to have as a major or even a career one day. PSEO is detrimental to this because kids are not appreciating the time that they are given and they tend to rush through college. When such rushing occurs, they have less time than a more mature person who begins college at 18 to decide what they want to do. Even 1 year makes a huge difference.
According to Shank, schools focus more on what to think and less on how to think. Within the first couple years of college, many students take required lib-ed courses and do whatever it takes to pass the class easily, whether it be memorizing random facts or rushing through assignments just to get them done. In cases like this, cognitive ability is not being practiced. Students who decide to do PSEO are being forced to rush through classes without actually absorbing the material that they are learning. High school allows students more time to practice cognitive ability and prepare themselves for college correctly. As Williams states, easy answers appeal to those whose understanding is limited. High school students in PSEO are not going to look deeper into what they are learning, but instead strictly memorize the facts for the test. Therefore, these facts are only short-term and will probably not be remembered later on. Another factor that backs this concept up deals with Sahlberg's idea that tougher competition limits one's success. College is much larger compared to high school, and PSEO students may feel intimidated at the fact that there will always be people who are smarter or more experienced than they are. Everyone learns at their own pace, and it may be difficult for PSEO students to realize this. This could result in quitting or not trying as hard as they can. Overall, by schools focusing more on what to think and less on how to think, college students, especially PSEO students, are not obtaining the information they should be and therefore may not be as successful as they hoped.
College classes incorporate more small group work and more critical thinking tasks. If a student enrolls in PSEO, he or she will have more opportunities to fire together and wire together with fellow students. Firing together and wiring together is more possible in the college setting rather than the high school setting because the teacher-student relationship in college is very different from high school due to the large class sizes in college. Students must come together outside of class to get better grades. When people come together and share their ideas, a lot more can happen creatively than when working alone. Julia Williams writes, "When the creative process pierces the unknown, a work of art takes on a majestic inner glow. The unknown can come from other people's ideas and open up a student's mind to things they never thought of." Sahlberg further proves this point with the success of Finnish students working in small groups, which provides its effectiveness through the national rank among other countries.
One positive aspect of PSEO is made clear through one main idea, that when opportunities are present, one must act on them. Sahlberg states that we should accept existing realities and take chances with available opportunities. This relates to Shank's belief that we listen to be entertained. So, if a student is not feeling as if high school is ideal for them, then it is wise to take the initiative and enroll in PSEO. By doing so, the student is given the opportunity to choose classes that interest them instead of remaining in high school where they are not entertained, therefore not learning to their full potential. If more students took this opportunity, then maybe the graduation rate from high school would increase. According to Sahlberg, approximately 3/4 of American students successfully graduate from compulsory education. Wouldn't it be wonderful if PSEO could increase this graduation rate simply because students discover a new interest for school? From my own experience, everybody from my high school that did PSEO went on to continue their college education because they realized not only how important college is, but that it can be interesting.
According to Schenk, we make life decisions and we need to know when to change something. Learning to analyze what has worked out and what has not and why is part of living a rational life. High school students may realize that PSEO may be a better option for them. They may believe that high school is not challenging enough for them, or they may know what they want to do when they grow up and get a head start on their education. In other words, they are making a life decision based off of what is and isn't working and learning how to succeed in a way that works best for them. As Williams states, wisdom is earned through failure and triumph. PSEO students may look back on their high school experience and realize that it wasn't the best fit for them. By doing this, they are looking back at a time where they maybe weren't reaching their full potential, but learning from that experience and enrolling into PSEO to better their future success. Overall, knowing when to change something and knowing how to fix it is a very important aspect for students to take into account. In this case, if a high school student believes that college may be a better option for them, they are making a decision based off of their own judgment and experiences, and therefore it could be a positive change.
A negative side of PSEO is missing out on important high school moments, or as Jules would call them, singularities. These are more important life lessons in a student's life that stay with them forever. Missing out on small classes and closer relationships with teachers is a big loss for students. Another issue with college is professors teaching to the test and becoming test prep coaches rather than making sure their students are really letting the information sink in. Schenk warned about teaching to the test because it allows students to memorize and only keep information in their short-term memory. In high school, teachers pay more attention to how their students are doing and can ensure that this information is really being absorbed.
As a directive, we came up with a few solutions for any flaws that PSEO has. To begin, we believe that there should be a counselor highly involved in every aspect of a PSEO student's education. Currently, counselors assist PSEO students in registration for the fall and spring semesters, but they are not as available as some students may need. This would allow students to potentially maintain a higher achievement level in the college setting.
Another one of our main themes dealt with the fact that PSEO students miss out on high school singularities. In order to create a balance between college life and high school life, some requirements should be in place, such as attending assemblies, the graduation ceremony, and other school events. By doing this, students will be surrounded with kids of their own age and become more immersed into high school culture.
Another way to allow students to become more aware of the option of PSEO would be to complete a shadow of a college student before committing. This would ensure that the students are making the correct decision for themselves. After the shadowing is complete, the students could have the option to be mentored by an experienced college student with similar interests. This would make the whole transition process smoother and more comfortable for the high school student. These solutions would change the way that people look at PSEO so that it would be a more beneficial and effective program for all.
As can be seen, there are pros and cons to PSEO, but it all comes down to the student's learning ability and study habits.
Clearly, there are changes that need to be made, but PSEO has still benefited countless students. With our directives, this program could be vastly improved.
After applying our text to the issues regarding PSEO, we have gained the ability to think critically about an institution that we originally thought was perfect, and were able to discover what needed to be improved.